Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. I am Lyle Dellingham, and I'm your platform host today. I am also pleased to welcome Carl Katz, our musician today. So please stand and join us as we sing our opening song, Jingle Bell Rock.
Dancing and prancing in Jingle Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in a jingling beat. That's the Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Verse 2, jingle bells chime in Jingle Bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time. It's the right time to lock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time. Go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and mingle in a jingling beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. And what a fun song to start the morning, Jingle Bell Rock. I must say, I have been in churches at Christmas time for several years of my life, since I was a little girl. And I don't think I've ever sung that song in church. I'm like, yes.
There is a first time for everything.
There's a first Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yeah, what a fun, uplifting song to get us in the Christmas mood today. I'm happy that you are here, and I'm so happy to be back after a couple of weeks away. I was at Unity of Vancouver 2 weeks ago, and then had a week of rest last week, and I'm ready for Christmas. So what a lovely place to be. If you are joining us for the very first time, I welcome you. I hope you enjoy your experience with us today. And if you are returning, welcome back, welcome home. It's lovely to see some faces that we haven't seen in a while. And if you are joining us online, either now or sometime in the future, a very warm welcome to you from all of us here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada, in New Westminster. Hello, everybody. Please, the commercial that I need to say every so often is remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to like our services, because it just helps in some strange way to make that better for people to find us and our message. And what is our message? Well, here at Unity in New Westminster, we offer ideas for full and abundant living, ideas that will help you to become more calm, more connected, more contented with your life. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example. But we honor that there is wisdom to be found in faith traditions all over the planet. There's wisdom to be found in our life experiences, in song, in story, in prose, in poetry. We honor every person's right to choose their own spiritual path, which is the same as their own life path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. Let us begin our service in a time of centering prayer. I invite you to close your eyes with me if that's comfortable. As we begin with a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the space that we are in and the place we are on. And we acknowledge that this place is the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks for First Nation peoples everywhere, for their love of this land that we too love. And together in this place, we feel our connection with one another, our delight at being in community, at being in a place where we can laugh together and sing together and dance together and cry at times together. The place where we are all safe to explore. We are so grateful. And we acknowledge that there is only one power. That power is understood by many names, is worshipped in many places, and has many faces. And whatever our understanding for the creative energy that forms us, that binds us together, that creates us and breathes us, we lean into the idea that it is one. And in that one energy, we are all connected. We are all brothers and sisters. And it is in this spirit of oneness that we send a blessing for love, for peace, for contentment, for healing, for upliftment to every being on this planet. We see beneath the labels to the heart, to the mind, to the personhood of every being. And we expand our love to include it all, knowing that our love makes a difference. And for this knowledge, for this power to intend, we give thanks. Amen.
The daily word for Sunday, December 10th, 2023 is peace. Peace is the song of my heart. As the Advent journey continues, I seek to embody peace. No matter what might be happening around me, I can rise above that which troubles and distracts me. All that takes my attention away from my spiritual life and my relationship with God. Peace is always mine, an aspect of my divine identity. When peace feels far away, I take it as a cue to center myself in spirit. I return to the practices that calm my mind and open my heart. As I relax and enter the silence, I touch the peace and perfection of God and claim that peace as my own. Returning to activity, I carry peace with me. I bring harmony to my interactions, calm to my reactions, and tranquility to every corner of my life. I won't just be peaceful. I will be peace itself. And from Jude, chapter 1, verse 2, May mercy, peace, and love be yours in abundance.
Today we light the candle for peace, something that we all long for so much at this time. And this year, it seems to be even more a relevant word, does it not? One of the great joys of a place like Unity is we get to experience and embrace other traditions. And for those of you who may not know, we are about halfway through Hanukkah. And I am going to ask my good friend Gary Rosenberg to come up and share some wisdom about Hanukkah. And this will take our place of meditation.
Hello, everyone. The one thing about Hanukkah that's interesting is it's one of only two Hebrew holidays.
Gary?
What?
Closer.
Oh, thanks.
Much closer.
That is all about celebration. As a matter of fact, during that Hanukkah, you're not supposed to be unhappy. You're not supposed to fast or do any lamentations because it's pure celebration. This and Purim, which is, interestingly enough, at the beginning of spring. And so you have both ends. And both of them are similar in that they celebrate a time when the Jewish nation or the Jewish people were about to be wiped out. And basically they were not. Which is what most Jewish holidays are about. They tried to kill us, they didn't, let's eat. But in actuality, in the case of Hanukkah and Purim, Hanukkah, just like Christmas, Diwali, and a lot of other holidays come around the solstice. Yeah, are all about. Don't forget, December 21st is the time of the least amount of daylight, and so the darkest day. And what are all the holidays this time of year about? Bringing light, lighting candles. Finding hope in the darkness, clawing back that darkness. And at the beginning of spring Purim, it's all about welcoming new life and fertility and stuff like that. It's not an accident that one of the things on Purim is you're supposed to get so drunk you can't tell the difference between praising the hero of the story and cursing the villain. And of course, people, when they get drunk, it's fertility, and most of our spring holidays have to do with that. But anyway, Hanukkah tells the story of about 168 BC, when a combination of when Syria, which were ruled by the Greeks, had taken over a period of time Judea, and First, they welcomed and they got along very well with the Jews, but then as Greece turned the screws for more taxes and stuff like that, and they realized that there was a lot of money that the Jews gave for orphans and to keep in the temple for upkeep of the temple, and they said, okay, this is a source of income, and so they basically tried to outlaw the Jews from worshiping, and when they didn't, they would get very adamant about it, as in public beheadings and killings and stuff like that. And one family rose up, and a small community rose up, went to the hills, and then fought back again, miraculously against the Greeks and Syrians, and won. And they got to reclaim their temple, which a big statue of Zeus was put up in. They got to clean out all the idols and got to reclaim the temple. In each Jewish temple, there's a light that's always supposed to be lit. When they went to light this, they found that there was only enough consecrated olive oil to keep it lit for one night. However, it would take about a week to press the olives to make new olive oil. Miraculously enough, the oil that was only supposed to last for one night was able to make it through the whole week. And so we celebrate the two miracles. One, the victory that a handful of people basically were able to toss the Syrians and Greeks out of Judea, but also the fact that the light stayed lit for 8 days. And that is why we have the menorah, we have the leader candle, and that represents the one light that we use to light each of the others. And if my son will come up and light the candles with me, you remember the prayers? Basically, the prayers, it's very interesting because there's thousands of prayers in Hebrew. And they all amount, and I'd say about 990 of them are some form of gratitude. And sometimes it's very simple. Thank you, universe, for allowing us to wear clothes. I mean, it can be something like that, or to eat bread. And in Hanukkah, it's thanking us for having the ability to light candles and commemorate these type of occasions. And the prayer in Hebrew sounds very beautiful, even with myself and Zev singing it. Would you like the microphone? Or do you want me to do it?
I can share.
Okay. Baruch atah. Here, let's light the candle first.
Sure.
The Shamish.
The Shamish, the leader, that's correct. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahagnik ner shel Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim lavatenu Bayamim hahem lazman hazeh.
I'm impressed. I knew how to do that.
I'm impressed too. Very good.
Which one did
The second one.
I do? This one?
Yeah.
We can put it on now if you want.
That's true. In the handouts say also there's a game that we like to play in Hanukkah. Some of our foster kids used to call it gambling for chocolate, where you spin the dreidel. The dreidel has 4 sides, and there's 4 Hebrew letters on it. And the letters, and they represent the words Nes Gadol Haya Sham, which means a great miracle happened here. And based on what name comes up, you either win half the chocolate that you put in, or all the chocolate, or you have to put another one in. Or you get nothing.
We're going to play this up.
Yeah, we could, for sure. And that's...
What do you want?
Just going to turn.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
In 1965, a cartoon was debuted called called A Charlie Brown Christmas. And I listened to a little bit of the history. Vince Guaraldi wrote this song. It's called Christmas Time is Here, and if you close your eyes, you can probably see the snowflakes. Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all that children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere, olden times and ancient rhymes of love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere, Yuletide by the fireside and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere, Yuletide by the fireside and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year.
Thank you, Carl. And thank you, Gary, for that wonderful explanation. And Zev, thank you also for your participation. I was sitting here looking at these two symbols of light and thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful if year by year we built on this and had other religious traditions and their symbols of light as well? I think imagine how we could light up this room with all of this brilliant, brilliant light. So thank you. Bah humbug. I decided this year to try something a little different. We are going to do several stories about the actual nativity in the next few weeks. And I thought, I want to talk about something that's more traditional, perhaps, or more secular, perhaps. And one of the things that came to me was the idea of talking about A Christmas Carol. This story was published 180 years ago, almost to the day. It was published on December the 18th, 1843. And it was sold, the publication was completely sold out by Christmas Eve, less than a week later. It was published at a time when poverty in England was quite severe, and there was a discrepancy between the rich and the people who were the workers. There were a lot of people who were children who were working, and things like holidays and weekends and 9 to 5 and all that stuff was not part of the picture. Yeah, that's the best I can do with that picture. Sorry, you guys. So it was at a time where Christmas had become more of a, like, just go to church and that's it. And Charles Dickens wrote this story. He started it in October and wrote it in a very, very, very short time. And if you look at his writing, much of what he writes about is about the plight of the poor and the division of wealth. And part of it, of course, is his own background, because he, at the age of 12, had to leave school because his father was sent to a debtor's prison. And so he had to provide for his family. And ended up then taking care of his family, including 7 siblings, and working in a factory. The story itself is 5 big chapters. Well, some are shorter than others. They call them staves in those days. And as you might appreciate, it is a story about transformation. And it is a universal story that appeals to so many people in so many ways. We can see ourselves in these characters, that the story has never yet been out of print. So, it also led to a resurgence of the idea of Christmas as a place for food and family and gatherings, that it was sort of on the decline at that point. What's the story? The story is, it's Christmas Eve, and it's a work day, and Scrooge is in his workplace with his employee, Bob Cratchit, and it's cold, and Scrooge is such a miser that he will only allow 1 piece of coal to be in the heater, and so poor Bob Cratchit is freezing and wrapped himself up in a blanket. And Scrooge's nephew comes in and invites his uncle to dinner. And his uncle's like, bah humbug, out with you, good afternoon is what he says, which is, in those days, the polite way of saying, go away. And eventually, of course, the nephew, Fred, leaves. And then 2 people come in asking for donations for the poor. And again, Scrooge says, good afternoon, which is his polite way of saying, go away. And then, because they don't understand, he's less than polite when he tells them to go away. And they leave in some confusion. And at the end of the day, of course, he goes his way to his home, which is, he's the sole renter in a house which houses businesses. He's the only person living in this lonely building. And, of course, Bob Cratchit goes back to his family. And as Scrooge comes home, he sees in the door knocker a resemblance of his past business partner, Bob Marley, who had passed away 7 years ago. And Bob Marley comes to life for him and tells him that he's going to be visited by 3 ghosts, 3 spirits. And the reason Bob wants him to listen to the spirits is because he doesn't want Scrooge to end up like he himself, Bob himself, because he is chained. The deeds of his life have led him to be chained in the afterlife and burdened forever. And so these three ghosts appear to Scrooge. The ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas yet to come. That's what it's called, yes. And what happens is, of course, Scrooge is terrified, but he goes for a walk with each one of these ghosts in turn, each one of these spirits in turn. And as a result of seeing these experiences that are shown to him, the ghost of Christmas past shows him his childhood. The ghost of Christmas present shows him his current people, the people in his life, and what they are doing while he's all alone in this cold and dark, lonely house. Don't call it a home. And then the spirit of Christmas yet to come shows him how, at the end of his life, the only person who shows any emotion about the fact that he has passed away are his housekeepers and his landlord, I think, because they can hawk some of his stuff and get some money. And he is so devastated by the reality of what happens that he resolves to change. And he asks the ghost of Christmas yet to come if it's too late. And the ghost of Christmas yet to come, who has been unchanging in not listening to Scrooge when he's saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't show me that. The only time you actually see that there's any emotion from this ghost of Christmas yet to come is when Scrooge says, is it too late? And his finger, the ghost's finger, starts to waver. It's a lovely story, and it has many a lesson. In the end, of course, Scrooge does change. And he changes with these words that he says to the ghost of Christmas yet to come. He says, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. And I see someone here who knows the words by heart and is repeating them with me. And I think there is such depth and wisdom to those words that in order to be in the place where we are fully alive in the present, and where people will mourn us and will see that we had value in the future, we want to be able to live and reconcile with our past, our present, and to know what our future legacy will look like. And isn't it true, if you think about it, that if you've been to any memorial service, they always talk about the love and the gentleness and the generosity of the person that has passed. These are the things that endure. And so let's look at some of the ideas that we can learn from so that we too can live in the past, the present, and the future, and have all of them living within us in a place of joy and happiness. Or at least, in today's theme, peace. The first thing I want to think about is that not everything is a transaction. So consider the idea that experiences and choices do not need to be transactional. And by that, what I mean is that whether you are choosing to be merry or choosing to be in bah humbug mode is a choice. And when Scrooge's nephew comes into his home and he's got red cheeks and a big smile on his face, and it's been a brisk day, so he's coming in from this cold, and you kind of get this idea of vibrancy from this young man. He invites Scrooge to come to dinner, and he starts out the interaction with the words, "Merry Christmas," to which Scrooge says, "Merry Christmas, what right do you have to be merry? What reason do you have to be merry? You are poor enough." To which the nephew returns with, "What right have you to be dismal? What reason do you have to be morose? You're rich enough." And again, the wisdom of these words are striking, because we have this myth, do we not, that people who are wealthy are merry and happy, and people who maybe don't have so much in terms of material wealth are not. And what we discover in the story is that true wealth has nothing to do with the bank account. The nephew then goes on to say, there are lots of things, let me use his language, there are many things from which I might have derived good, but I have not profited. Christmas among them. And then he says, Christmas is a good time, a kind time, a charitable, pleasant time. The only time I know of in the long calendar of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely, and to think of people below them as if they are really fellow passengers to the grave, and not another race of creatures bound on other journeys. Those are lots of words. But what they're saying is, the nephew has observed that at Christmas time, people see the people. They see humanity. They don't see the levels of their societal norms. But rather, it is a time when we remember that we are all on a human journey. And so then he goes on to say, therefore, uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good and will do me good, and I say, God bless it. We have this contrast, do we not, of Scrooge, who is miserable and wealthy, basically saying, well, why are you being, like, it's costing you to be merry, why are you doing that? And this man saying, it hasn't anything to do with money. It doesn't have to be transactional. Where in our lives do we sometimes hold back because we want tit for tat or quid pro quo, where we make decisions just based on whether or not it's going to give us something back? This idea of do it because it's the right thing to do, rather than because you're going to get something from it, is one idea to share with you. Another idea, that bah humbug is no fun to live with. And that's whether you're on the receiving end of bah humbug, and oh my gosh, I think we can all identify with that, where we've been in the presence of people who are just miserable. And tell me that's fun. Of course it's no fun to be with. But it's also true that it's not really fun for the person who is the bah humbugger, if there is such a word. That sounds really bad. It's like a rewind, rewind, rewind. The person who is saying bah humbug, that person suffers too. And again, we find this wisdom in Scrooge's nephew. It's almost as if he's such, for me, at least at this reading, Scrooge's nephew is such a contrast to him, and it's so interesting because, of course, they are related. But Scrooge's nephew won't put up with anyone saying anything bad about him in a mean way. I mean, they have fun a little bit at his expense, but then they drink a toast to him, to Scrooge. And he says, he's a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him. Imagine that generosity of spirit. To recognize that his offenses are his burden, and therefore we don't need to add to it and adopt any of his misery. Again, Scrooge's nephew. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself, always. Here he takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. What's the consequence? And then he goes into, he's going to miss a meal. He don't lose much of a dinner, which doesn't make his girlfriend or his wife feel very good, because of course they're trying to put some work into the dinner. But the point there is, it's just a dinner on the surface. But he's losing the whole community and sense of fun with family. We see this miserable old man, lost. And what can we learn from that? That maybe when we are in the presence of bah humbug, that we can be as generous as Scrooge's nephew and recognize the pain that person must be experiencing, because it is not our nature to be miserable. And this leads to the next point, and that is that no person is two-dimensional. If you take a look at the Ghost of Christmas Past, and he takes Scrooge back to his childhood, to a place where we find that Scrooge was not wanted at his home. So he was sent to boarding school. And then at Christmas time, all the other children get picked up and taken away back to their homes for Christmas. And this young lad, Scrooge, is left all by himself at Christmas time. And his sister, who loves him dearly, comes to find him and let him know that she has advocated for him with their dad, and he has given permission for him to come home for Christmas, and this is all great excitement. And of course, this is the sister who has since died. And so there is loss and hurt in Scrooge's past that has colored his experience of life. And when we look at this grumpy old man, and all we see is the grumpy old man, it's like looking at the tip of an iceberg and not recognizing the hurt and the life experiences that are beneath it, that created it. Nobody is just black and white. We are all products of our past. And it may help us to find compassion then for the people who are being curmudgeonly, who are being bah humbug. As you guys know, I have a new granddaughter. She's going to be 6 months next week. Yes, thank you. And of course, she is the most beautiful, happy child on the planet, as I'm sure every grandmother says about every grandchild. But what I know to be true about her, and what I'm sure is true about every grandmother who speaks about their grandchild, is that she is a happy child. Her nature is life, is joy, is connection. She's now at the place where when you tickle, she laughs. Like everything is fun and life-giving. And that would be true for Scrooge. That when he was born, when any child is born, their nature is to respond to what is going on around them. Their nature is life. And so, when we see people who are hurt, what if we could see it as a response to the hurt? You may have heard the idea of hurt people, hurt people. So could we be more compassionate to the person who is being bah humbug? And can we be more compassionate to the person who is being bah humbug even when it's ourselves? Because there will be times when we are the curmudgeon. And can we also be kind to ourselves and go, oh, this is just a response to something. And then we have another idea. And that is, if we are dealing with the curmudgeon, whether it's ourselves or with someone else, with the bah humbug, the miserable experience person, are we willing to be like Fred and keep the door open? Because I know if it were me and I had said to someone, come and join us for dinner, and they're like, you're wasting your time, why are you doing all this? I might very well just say, well, good afternoon. And turn my back and close the door. But what we see in his behavior is, I have no quarrel with you. I'm going to have a Merry Christmas. The invitation remains open. Generosity of spirit is not closing the door. And then, because of that, when the person is ready to change, they are more likely to approach. Because what if his nephew had been like my reaction would have been, which is like, see you later, doors shut, don't let it hit you on the way out, or whatever the saying is right now. But what is the likelihood then that Scrooge, having decided to change the way that he approaches life, would he not be less likely to have the courage to go to that door and knock and say, hey, can I join you for Christmas dinner? It does take courage to admit that you've been on the wrong path. It does take courage to ask and make amends. But it's easier if you don't have somebody saying, I told you so. So if you can, try and be generous. Try and keep your Christmas merry, even if theirs is miserable. And leave the door open a little, just in case. Scrooge ends up changing. He throws open the windows. He sees for the first time with gentle eyes the people who are walking the streets. And he spends money to send a turkey to Tiny Tim's house, to Bob Cratchit's house, which includes the son, Tiny Tim. And that's the final point, is that it's never too late to change. And the change does make a difference. And we see in the story a renewed joy of life as he goes and enjoys Christmas with his nephew and his niece by marriage and all of their friends. We see that Tiny Tim, who was destined to pass away, now is supported enough by the wealth of Scrooge that he is able to live. In fact, we see that Scrooge becomes like a second father to him. And we get this idea of a new family, a new meaning in life. And here's the courage that happens when you make amends in the book. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh. For he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happened on this globe for good, at which some people did not have their fill of laughter in the outset. And knowing that such as these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite as well that they should wrinkle up their eyes in grins as have the melody in less attractive forms. His own heart laughed, and that was enough for him. This Christmas, as you think about your own past, your present, and your future, I encourage you to think of this story, to realize that where you came from will affect who you are today, and allow yourself some compassion and understanding for that. Allow yourself to recognize that what you do today will make a difference in the future. And do what makes your heart laugh. Honor Christmas in your heart. Try to keep it all the year. Live in the past, the present, and the future. And Scrooge knew how to keep Christmas well. May that truly be said of us and all of us. And as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in golden days, happy golden days of yore. Full friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, as the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, as the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Thank you, Carl. That was wonderful again. Have yourself a very merry little Christmas as well.
You too.
So, and now for the announcements. Please join us tomorrow on Zoom only for our Monday meditation and prayer service. It's a time to rest, renew and reset, and to read the names of the people on our prayer list and to bless all people. If you would like to add your name to the list, please fill in a prayer request and place it in the offering basket, send us an email, or submit a prayer request on our website. We leave the names on our list for 2 months, then we forward the names to Silent Unity, which is Unity's 24 hours a day, 7-day-a-week prayer vigil and prayer phone line in Unity Village near Kansas City, Missouri. There will be no Wisdom Wednesday discussion groups in December. The discussion groups will resume again in January. Instead, you are encouraged to join the Advent discussion group hosted by Canada's licensed Unity teachers. Canada's licensed Unity teachers are hosting a discussion group based on this year's Advent booklet, The Sweetest Christmas. The sessions are on Zoom on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 11 a.m. Vancouver time for 90 minutes. All are welcome to join in any of the remaining sessions. Get the Zoom information through the link on our website or the Unity Canada website in the special events section. Come together for an Advent discussion and share the journey to Christmas. Our neighbors at Unity of Vancouver are holding their annual Christmas concert on Wednesday, December 20th at 7:30. The headline musician is Shari Ulrich, with performances by Tom Arnston, Beverly Elliott, Nathan Aswell, and Linda Kidder. Tickets are free but must be reserved. Go to unityofvancouver.org to get your ticket. Wouldn't it be nice if a group of us all went together? And we have a full Christmas season, and the schedule is on the screen. Some special dates to note are the annual Sadness Service, which is also known as Blue Christmas Service, which will be this Thursday, December 14th at 7 p.m. The Christmas Story and Candle Lighting next week on Sunday, December 17th. The annual 12 Powers Christmas Candle Lighting, which will be a week from Thursday at 7 p.m. And the No Rehearsal Christmas Pageant, which was so fun last year, which will be at 11 a.m. on Christmas Eve. Also, on December 17th, we will have a potluck and hold a brown bag raffle and potluck from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Each raffle item will be displayed with a brown bag in front of it. Buy tickets, add them to the bags to draw for prizes. Spread out your tickets or focus your chances on one. It's up to you. The draw will be at 2 p.m. We are asking for raffle items to be donated. Items which are new and suitable for gift giving can be dropped off on Sundays or during office hours, Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. until December 17th. Now, Unity of New Westminster is completely funded by the contributions of our community, and we are grateful for your gifts which support our ministry. If you are watching online and you want to support our message, please click on the link in the talk description and thank you. Or click on the link, in our talk description. Please give the feeling of gratitude and appreciation as we sing our blessing song. Please bring to mind something you are grateful for. We are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everyone for being here today. We are indeed so blessed. And thank you, Carl, for your lovely music. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. And Gary, thank you for your explanation and your lovely way of educating us. So appreciative. One of the things I would ask you to consider, hoping it's on the screen, is the idea of being our kitchen team lead. We are looking for someone who is willing to create a team of people to make coffee and set things out every Sunday. It doesn't mean you have to be here every Sunday. We are just wanting someone who will be able to coordinate that and then also to put the... There it is. Oh, you're looking at Jim? Oh, that's my next thing I'm going to say. Okay, so if you're interested in the kitchen, please come and see us. More importantly, this afternoon, Penny and Purdy are going to go and see Jim Cliff. And we have a Christmas card that you're all invited to. Please write in and write some message to him so that we can let him know that even though he's not able to be with us here, we have not forgotten him, and he is most definitely part of our community. So please do that. And thank you, Penny and Purdy, for doing that for us. And let's hold Jim and every other person in our community who is not here in our hearts as we join hands and sing our peace song and sing the blessing song. Yeah, that was taken in, October maybe? Was the last time I saw him. It was a little while ago. And he was so happy. And he had been sitting in his wheelchair for a while and they decided he needed to take some weight off of his wheelchair. What am I trying to say? He needed to rest his body. All right, let's get into a circle and sing our peace song, our prayer for protection, and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Please stay for munchies and Happy Hanukkah.
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God, wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the are the presence of God wherever you are. God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God wherever you are. God is. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power of God, we are the presence of God wherever we are. God is and all is well. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year.